Well, I've had the fortune, or good fortune or bad fortune, to be involved with the peace movement in Long Beach probably for over 30 years, various different aspects. And have been to many situations and many rallies and many meetings, and so often Jack was always there.
When the March on Selma came along, I was interested in that. So I went to Chicago on a weekend conference, and the Reverend Jim Bevel, who was the front man for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, talked me into coming down, and I put together a slide show that was used to take to college campuses across the country, and we recruited students, college students, to come to Chicago in the summer of 1966, and the action project was to end the slums. And after that summer, I was asked to join with Jesse Jackson and three of his college friends, graduates, to start Operation Breadbasket, which was the economic arm of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And so I did that for the next 5 years. I was photographed and recorded all of Dr. King's speeches for the 2 years prior to his death. And then I stayed on for another 4 years with the organization. And when Jesse left the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, I decided that I just needed to do different things, and I just moved on. It wasn't until 30 years later, with the advent of our continuing wars in the Middle East, that I got back active again, and started standing on the corner every Friday night here in San Pedro with our San Pedro Neighbors for Peace and Justice. And that continued on for 8 years for me, until I ended up having a heart condition, going to the hospital, and got that taken care of. The last 7 or 8 years, I started up the Veterans for Peace organization, reorganized that in the Long Beach area. And the main project has been Teen Memorial.
Well, Jack actually started the Teen Memorial.
Teen Memorial is a memorial for the 402 18 and 19-year-old young Americans who have died in combat in our wars of choice in the Middle East, Afghanistan, Iraq, and now Afghanistan again.
But it was set up probably 2 or 3 years ago at Cal State Long Beach and wasn't complete then. Jack was not well, so myself and some other people in the Vets for Peace in Long Beach took it over. We completed it. Each cross now has a name, a face, when they died, how old they were, where they're from, how they died, and each of the crosses are set up that way. We're up to over 400 names right now. I can't tell you the exact number, but it's between 400 and probably about 412. One just died again very recently, a 19-year-old. It's by the Veterans Memorial Pier in Belmont Shores. It's beside the pier. The sign right above it actually says Long Beach Belmont Shore Veterans Memorial Pier, so it's really an ideal place for it. I have to say, sadly, though, that there doesn't seem to be a great interest in Long Beach in really taking the time to get down on one knee and look at the crosses, and really there seems to be a little asleepness regarding that we're even there sometimes. In contrast, this past Memorial Day, we put it up in Santa Monica beside Arlington West. We lit each cross with a candle. It was up for 2 days over Memorial Day. We let a whole flock of doves go. We had a rally around the Teen Memorial. And because Santa Monica Pier has turned out to be really almost a Coney Island of the West Coast, there are literally thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are there and that really take interest that it's there and that, you know, we're part of Arlington West. And I was really touched by that, how many people really were concerned and how many people really took the time to look and ask questions and educate themselves and be aware of it. So it's we hope to continue in Long Beach, but we also hope to continue to be part of Arlington West and Santa Monica and put it up there as well. I think a significant part of of any movement is tenacity, and I think the man's got a great sense of tenacity despite the fact he's not a well man. He's had a lot of physical challenges, and yet he's continued to inspire and empower and enlighten, and he's got a great sense of wisdom, others to do the work that needs to be done in this world, the work that needs to be done in Southern California, in Long Beach, for God's sakes. So he has inspired me as well because of his tenacity and his always kind of being there, and he does it with intelligence and he does it with grace, and I've always been impressed by the man.